Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. If you're my previous subscribers, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, we're going to be discussing a part 2 of NATO and everything that happened in the previous video. If you have not watched already, go and watch it. I'll put it into the link below. But also, it says part 1 on it. And it had NATO and all that in the words. But apparently there's supposed to be a part 2. I don't know why I don't remember anything from that video, because when I do my videos, I kind of channel. Today is the next day. I remember nothing, like literally nothing. So at least the good part is the reading that we're going to be doing today is going to be kind of blind. So I always do a lot of my reading blind, and I just kind of separate myself from all the other readings, and you can kind of see how everything flows together nicely. So anyway, this video is being recorded on Wednesday, January 15th, 12:02 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that is when this video in particular is being recorded. This video is for entertainment purposes only and for educational purposes only. If you want to like and subscribe, please go and do so. It helps out the channel. If you can engage with the content in some formality, like hitting the subscribe button, hitting the bell icon to be notified when I upload and post. Even commenting is a great way to interact with me and also your other fellow men. But you'll also be telling the algorithm you like this show. And you'll be shown my content, but also other psychic tarot card readings as well, including astrologers. So definitely engage. The longer you watch this video, the more it tells the algorithm, show me more tarot card readings. Don't show me those weird ads that you see with people playing lottery. Anyway, besides the point. So let's begin. It's going to be a blind reading. I don't know what we're expecting from today's reading, but let's just go blind. I guess that's how we're going to do this. Yeah, if you have not already, go into my description, follow my Blue Sky account and my Facebook group. I personally notify you when I do upload because YouTube does not do that. So I do it for you. So go and follow if you have not already. There's a ton of videos on there. You can also interact with me and ask me questions, and you're more likely to get a response there than on YouTube because apparently I'm starting to notice, once again, when you guys comment, half your comments are going ba-boom, like missing. And I see it on my end. So like you guys will reply to certain comments, but the reply will not show up on the public forum. So like some of your replies are actually entirely generated or missing. And I've been trying to get those back online so people can see what you're writing, and it's gone. So follow those. It's a great way to interact with me. Plus, YouTube won't be editing your comments, so you don't have to worry about that. Let's begin. I don't want to waste your time. We have a lot to get through today. I'm trying to pump out as many videos for you. Alright, good work. Alright, so let's see. What can we do today? Spirits and angels tell me. What can we do today? Okay, so let's see. What's the main topic of today's video, Spirit? Okay, they're telling me it's something with NATO. They're just not telling me what the topic is. So I guess we're just going to ask what's going on with NATO. And then I guess we'll go from there. Because they're not really telling me. They're telling me just we're not supposed to tell you. You're going to kind of know as you get through the rest of the video. Lovely. All right, so Spirit Angels tell me about NATO. What is it that we need to know about NATO? Okay. What is it that we need to know about NATO? What's going on with NATO? Okay, they're telling me to talk about Greenland. Okay, so Greenland's here. What's going on with NATO and Greenland? What's going on there? Why is this coming in for the reading now? Okay, they're telling me it's a part of my planet alignment video. If you have not already watched it, I highly recommend you go and watch it. It's from January 20th all the way to the 29th. It talks about the planet alignment and how that's going to affect and change it. Plus, going into Lunar Chinese year, which is January 29th, going into the snake year, the year of the snake, how things start to shift. And you can kind of see that happen in the video. You'll start to see like, oh, everything looks one way. Then the story just kind of flipped on itself towards the end. And going into the snake year. So definitely go and watch that if you had not already. Oh, Trump got us some bad trouble. I don't think what Trump said about Greenland was a joke. It was not a joke. Okay, so let's explain. The first card that came up when I was asked about NATO was the Hierophant card. the Hierophant card was what came up. Okay, so a lot of you guys have been saying that my throat has been sounding like I've been chewing gum. I don't. It might be because of my lip. It might be because I'm getting sick. So I just got salt water in a bowl here. And yes, I'm drinking it. It's Himalayan salt, not regular iodine. So yes, you can drink Himalayan salt and it hydrates your body. Anyway, I've been doing it for years. I'm completely okay, don't worry. We have the Hierophant here. The Hierophant, in this aspect here, even though it's a guy sitting in a chair, even though it's a card of faith, this is the governmental institution, the institution of NATO. Now, what is the institution of NATO? Well, here's what issue of NATO. This is the issue that NATO's having. There's a lot of empty threats that's being thrown around, but NATO is really considering it as a possible attack on all, not just an attack on one, an attack on all. So NATO is actually using this to its advantage to get more members to join NATO. Getting more members to join NATO by saying, hey, listen, the United States is going to attack you, or it's trying to. If you join NATO, we're going to protect you. And so, NATO is going to use it as a way to expand the horizon. Well, it's going to be good because that means more military connection, broader military base, and just better worldwide surveillance, technically. So this would be really good. So in the way of expansion of NATO, this would be really ideal for them. However, it does say that there is a lot of empty threats. And despite the empty threats, there is a looming threat within NATO. And the looming threat inside NATO is the dismantling of NATO. That is the threat that's going within inside of NATO. Now, you're probably asking, well, Chris, that makes no sense. What is that threat? Well, essentially, what it is saying, this is very key note here. France, in particular, comes in as the key player. France. And then we have Italy. Then we have Greece. Yeah, and then you have Turkey. I don't know if Turkey is part of NATO, but if it is, then yeah. Yeah, you can kind of see like that is what is the four main players here in NATO, and they are going to essentially try and pull out of NATO. Depending on the leader and the position of power and whoever's in power in their country, they're going to try and pull out of NATO or try to dismantle it in some way. Because technically what NATO does is NATO protects all countries in unison. What NATO does is just say that they're imperialistic because we're starting to enter the age of imperialism once again. Based according to the United States, it's entering into the age of imperialism. Let's just say that starts to translate through other countries like France, for example. France would be most likely to adopt the new age of imperialism. If France decides to do that, they're going to want to take over countries within the same continent. It cannot do that if it's a part of NATO. So it has to withdraw from NATO to be able to start attacking. So it's kind of like a reverse Hitler, if you know what I mean, kind of like that. Yeah, I don't really know any other way to explain it. But what card that follows next is the future. So this is the future card. So this is the future threat of NATO. NATO is going to have those major issues. So expanding NATO is going to be essential to try to mitigate some of the losses that they're going to experience. Now, what we also have here, we have the Ten of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles is wisdom, succession. Wisdom and succession. That's why it's very important here, because we have 3 or 4 different people from all different age groups coming in, from new members to older members, from members who have been here for a while. The old members in particular are feeling very, well, we created this. This is our creation, and we feel that you're not contributing enough to what we created. And that is what the older members are doing. And the older members are wisdom. They have a lot of wisdom. They have a lot to offer, because they've been offering it for a very long time. The problem is that they don't feel like the new members are providing that. And that becomes the issue of, well, we lose the members with a lot of wisdom, a lot of support, now we actually lose support. That's kind of like the motto, kind of like the energy of NATO. And that might be playing into a bigger role here. I don't know why it is coming in for the United States, but the United States might be playing a very big role into the fact and maybe the possible dismantling of NATO or the possible expansion of NATO. It could be both, it could be one or the other. You don't know exactly how they're going to play out. Under the Hierophant, though, we have the 3 of Pentacles. And the 3 of Pentacles is opportunity and I'm hearing solicitation. Don't know why, but I'm hearing solicitation. So maybe like prostitution, but not anything like that. It's just kind of like that's kind of the word I'm getting, like solic, or in some way, like try to seduce them into doing something. This is the hyphenate above. So that is NATO, right? This is the foundation of NATO. This falls under the foundation of NATO. Maybe leaders are using NATO as a formality to transport things behind the scenes. I don't know if that's like documents, if that's human life. I'll leave that up to your determination. But it's saying here that the whole purpose of NATO was to do and protect and to expand and make sure that there is no sort of disruption in terms of peace. However, there are those who are using the means of NATO as a back channel to transport things that are not illegal, but also transport things that are confidential. So some things are being transported that are completely legal, but are confidential and cannot be known publicly. However, there are also those leaders who are using those same channels who are using them for human trafficking. Now, underneath here, of all those options, all those countries, all those nations, right here, we have the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is reversed here, and the Wheel of Fortune is very key and indicator. So now I do want to touch back on the human trafficking that I just talked about in Three of Pentacles. It's possible it could just be referring to military intervention. It could be a large transfer of humans. Could be that as well, so to keep that in mind. Alright, so we have the Wheel of Fortune reversed. The Wheel of Fortune reversed, it means that whatever happened within NATO and the fall of certain parts of NATO or its allies or even the possible expansion of it or the empty threats or the threats that Trump is giving to NATO, all these are at the center stage here, which is why it's the Seven of Cups. Underneath the Seven of Cups, though, we have the Wheel of Fortune reversed. The Wheel of Fortune reversed is telling me here that what is happening on a larger, grander scale is something that is more destined for humanity. So humanity is going to create the story in the avenue in which NATO will take. So what it's saying is that the divine order of things, this is not a divine order because there is no divine order for how NATO operates and how NATO pursues certain things, which means that this is up to the leisure of those in positions of power and they can decide the story of NATO. So NATO is so up in the air and it can go in many different avenues. It has that freedom of choice here. Now, underneath the Six of Cups reversed, we have the Six of Pentacles reversed. The Six of Pentacles reversed is very interesting because it talks about justice over money. Justice over money, which is interesting because we're talking about the Six of Pentacles, we're talking about the Six of Cups reversed, which is the top card here. And this has always been my card for the future. So when it's reversed, it's for the future. When it's upright, it goes back to the past. Here, it's saying here justice. It's always going to be in the past. So something is going to happen that justice is going to be brought upon those who committed certain things in the future revolving around NATO. So NATO could be bringing justice to someone, or NATO will be brought to justice. Could be one or the other, depending on how that plays out. And again, like I said, everything kind of like the story of NATO is developing, and it's not within divine order because it's destined to kind of create the story themselves. Now, under here, which is the Ten of Pentacles, we have here the threat of stolen goods, the threat of stolen leaders. Maybe possibly NATO might be full of stolen leaders. Maybe leaders who are, should not be in an alliance because it creates a situation where all these people in position of power, the government did not stop the people from corrupting the system in their own countries to the point where now almost majority of NATO is now full of those who are corrupted. So, for example, let's say Donald Trump stays in NATO. Now, for example, now Donald Trump is one of those people who have corrupted their own electoral system within their own country and therefore has corrupted NATO. NATO, well, it's going to be a bunch of countries, but majority of them will need to be able to follow a similar path as Donald Trump did. So we'll see what happens, but that is an outcome here, the wisdom here, the old people, countries where they contributed so much, and those are the countries from the beginning. So whatever countries are from the beginning, they're going to be the ones that are going to be the most angry and most likely to have those situations. The United States is not immune to that, right? So that can be very important in regards to NATO. Now, it's being aided by the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is the Great Fortune card. And the Great Fortune card for NATO is telling us here that there will be a sense of calmness and peace and renewal. Regardless of what happens and how NATO plays out, NATO will end up going back to its original roots, original founding. So it's saying here that regardless of what happened on a larger, grander scale with Donald Trump and all these people who have corrupted our own electoral system, NATO will found its final purpose. And the purpose is going back to its original founding, going back to what it really meant to be a part of NATO. That is NATO's entire purpose towards the end, is finding itself and what it's meant to do and how to do it properly. That is what we really need to know about NATO. That even though this story is kind of still in flux here, the final outcome card with the United Pentagon is referring to the fact that NATO will find its original purpose and will pursue its original purpose, the purpose that it did not do for decades since. We have the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles will be given of leadership to other people. So maybe possibly the Justice card might be a transfer of leadership within the nation to try to get them to be back in support of NATO. Maybe just say a country that is against NATO or against peace around the world. NATO might take it upon themselves to instill peace within that nation or stabilize the region by installing leaders in a position of power that is more favorable to NATO. So kind of like what the United States does with dictators in like Syria, Iran, those type of things. They might install leaders in corrupted nations, like I said, where they're able to be more NATO friendly. We'll see what happens, but that's what I got. Is there anything else you want to talk about NATO? Because apparently NATO's coming in hard in this reading. They're not telling me I have to talk about Greenland, because somehow Greenland is tied to Steve Bannon. Okay, they're telling me no, it's not. They just told me it's actually tied to Elon Musk. Okay, why does Elon Musk want Greenland? What's so important about Greenland that Elon Musk wants? They're telling me Elon Musk wants Greenland because of the stature of the nations. Okay, that's a little weird. I don't speak medieval, but okay. Okay, stature of the nations. Don't know what that means, so we'll find out right now. Stature of the nation. Stature. What does stature mean? Okay, let's see. Stature. What is the meaning of stature? Full, unable to hold or contain anyone. So stature of the nations. So unable to hold the nations, unable to full of nations. Maybe there's something full of nations, or maybe something is residing in Greenland that is full of nations. Or maybe world leaders. I don't know if that's a meeting spot for many leaders. I don't know. But there's something regarding that. He wants control of Greenland for control of nations. Is basically what it feels like. And if he gets Greenland, he has control of everything else. Spirit Angels will tell me, what do we need to know about NATO and Greenland? Why is it coming in now? He's going to try and take it. Show me behind the scenes. What's going on behind the scenes? This had nothing to do with minerals. That had nothing to do with minerals. They're going to try and take it by force. That's going to cause a problem. Because this is a 3 of Pentacles. Remember, this card showed up for NATO earlier in the reading. This is a problem. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of Swords reversed. The 9 of Swords the 9 of Wands reversed, excuse me. The 9 of Wands reversed is telling me here that there is stability within Greenland's region, right? There's stability, but there's instability within the United States. So they find, and what the idea is essentially to bring forth American to say, hey, listen, we may not be able to bring you better gas prices, but hey, at least we got Greenland, right? We expanded the nation beyond, and it essentially a way to tamper and to what they call say, hey, listen to the MAGA people. They're like, oh, listen, well, nothing's more patriotic than expanding the country, right? And so they're able to overlook the issues at home by looking abroad. So that's the idea and concept by Trump. Well, there's a lot more to that than just that. It's followed by the 7 of Swords. And the 7 of Swords is very interesting because it means stealing. Trying to take away from its rightful owner, right? The theft. Trying to steal from them. It's being followed by the 10 of Swords reversed. The 10 of Swords is betrayal. The betrayal is reversed here. So for some reason, in some capacity, it's not that much of a backstab to Greenland as you may think. Because Greenland, there might be a secret, support group that is actually supporting this. Which is weird. Because a secret support group, I'm telling you now, if you're a part of Greenland, my best advice to you, don't try to become part of the United States because capitalism will come to your country and you will regret it. Okay? Anyway, and your minimum wage will probably be $7.25, so good luck with that. Alright, so anyway, you have the 10 of Swords reversed, and the 10 of Swords reversed is telling me here there's a betrayal, but it's not a betrayal because the people in Greenland, in some capacity, they will like the idea. So maybe there's something that gets proposed that makes them more willing to do this. In some way, because we have here, and how we know this. Because in the card before this, we have the 7 of Swords, and the 7 of Swords is taking away 7 swords. And the 10 of Swords, there's 4 swords remaining. 8, 9, 10. Okay, 3 swords remaining, which is the betrayal card. Oh, you know what? Never mind, that is a betrayal. Because theoretically, 3 of Swords in a normal card with the heart, with the 3 of Swords, is still betrayal nonetheless. So even though they took away 7 swords, it's still betrayal of Greenland. I take back what I just said. So no, Greenland does not support this. Now that I just start to do the math here, they're going to try and take it. Like I said before, they're going to try and take it. We have the Page of Pentacles. It has nothing to do with minerals, which is why the mineral is reversed. It had nothing to do with the land. It had nothing to do with the land. It had to do with more so the idea of trying to make a lot of Americans at home, particularly those who voted for Trump, who say, oh, life is hard. But hey, listen, we got Greenland, right? Look the other way. Don't worry about what we're doing here. Just worry about over there, Much more patriotic than expanding the country, right? That type of idea. That's what most dictators do. They expand the country so that people look away from the problems at home. So the 9 of Wands here reversed, while the upright 3 of Wands is upright. Now, why is this significant? Because this is my card that overlooking the country, overlooking the destruction of a certain area, or overlooking the election night, right? You're watching the election and the states unfold and see how they voted. This in particular is talking about those in positions of power, going back to what America has always done. Kick the natives out and take their land. This is going back to the root. Because Pluto in America's return is going back to the original founding of the United States. So what Trump is doing is not a joke. Because Trump is in essence is the manifestation of Pluto's return in the United States. So because he is the manifestation of it, he's going to embody the problems of the United States. The problem of the United States is that they are very well known for kicking, Inuits and natives out of their home and installing Americans there instead. This is not going to be something that's going to be unheard of. So the things that we saw back in the 1700s, the 1800s, the 1600s, the 1900s, the 20th century, whatever it is that we saw, we're going to start to see the reimbursement of all of it come under the Trump terminology and the Trump term. Because we also have what's back now? We have American imperialism. That was something that was founded in the 1800s, late 1800s, into the early 1900s, right? Imperialism is once again back in the United States. The 3 of Wands. Underneath here, the sealing of the land, or trying to attempt to seal something, we have here the Hermit. There is light in the sealing, right? There is a light that will be shined. Now, there is a positive to all of this in some way. I know a lot of you guys will be like, what's the positive? Listen, I understand your point here. I understand the point, but the positivity of this is that there is something that will come in the future where Greenland becomes an essential player. I don't know why, but it becomes an essential player in some capacity sometime down the line. Now, why is this important? Well, think of it in this way. Think about it in this terms. For example, just say, the United States took over Britain during the War of 1812, during the Second Revolution War in the United States. Just say the United States obliterated Britain, right? Or just say, obliterated Britain. No, I'm actually going to use this different idea, excuse me. For example, just saying in this reality here, we have the United States versus Britain, right? Britain wins the United States, but then somehow, a couple decades later, we now have World War II. Hitler starts bombing Britain. Britain's about to fall to the Germans, right? But the British own the United States. The United States is weaker in this scenario. They don't have all the infrastructure that Britain will allow them to have, because in order to be reliant on the mother nation, you need to be weakened. So the United States is weak in this terminology here. So it is the daughter of the United Kingdom. And in this scenario here, Britain will fall and succumb to Germany in 1939 during the British bombing. Now, in this outcome here, in this scenario, the United States defeated the British in 1812, remained its independence from the British, built up its infrastructure, so come World War II, well, guess what? The British almost fell to the Germans, but what saved the British were the Americans, the ones that they fought against independence. So the thing is, we might not understand why Greenland is going to be a major player in the future, but using that same context, Greenland has a big role to play sometime down the future. I can't tell you what that is because I myself don't know what is coming down the line of what's coming down the pipe regarding for Greenland. But Greenland is going to be a major player for the United States and also for the world as well. Greenland is where you want to look to for any sort of understanding about what is happening globally. Under here, the betrayal card, we have the Knight of Wands. Trump is going to go towards it. He's going to try and betray the people of Greenland. I don't think that's going to be a shocker, but Trump is going to try and do it. And how do we know that? He's going to go behind their backs. They're going to tell him no. But this guy is looking at the light, and he's looking down at the light. And his back is face turned to the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is my Trump card. Trump running towards something. He's going to run right past him. Because he's facing the other way. This guy's going to run right through him or even knock him down. And on the right side here, we have walking away. Walking away with a victory. I think Trump is going to try to attempt to take Greenland. He's going to try it. And it's going to cause a major issue with NATO. Major issue with NATO. And here's the transformation and ending. I wonder if this makes it so that a lot of countries now see the United States as a threat. The way that they used to see, the way they see Russia and China. They now see the United States as a threat, and there's going to be a new world power that's going to come out of Europe. I feel like in particular, it looks like it's going to be France. France looks like, in any sort of particular outcome, it looks like France is going to be the new world power out of Europe. And the new Asian power, which is going to be the new United States, is going to be India. India is going to be a major player that's going to enter into NATO. And NATO is going to be more reliant on India. And while the world's going to change according to India's liking, India is going to be a superpower. And that's going to be what's going to threaten the United States' standing globally. All right, so with all that being said, Spirits and Angels, let's see. Are we going to war with NATO? Are we going to war with NATO? If Donald Trump is the president of the United States, or even the Republicans are in a position of power within the next 4 years, is the country of the United States going to war with NATO in some capacity or some form? No. 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 Is the United States, look, here's the White House in reverse. Is the United States going to have a leader installed within the presidency by NATO on NATO's behalf? It looks more likely, actually. Okay, so yeah, the victory card. So I think, like I said earlier, in terms of NATO's reading on NATO in part 2 of it, we talked about how NATO is really going back to installing people in positions of power, especially a corrupt nation where the election was corrupted. The reason for that is that it makes a lot of sense though, because why would you attack a nation where the people of that nation did not actually vote for that leader to be in position of power, instead that leader installed themselves in as power and given them the power and took the power from the people. So how can you punish the people when the people didn't even want that person in position of power anyway. So I think I gotta give NATO a lot of credit for this, because this is a really good way and a really good perspective to look upon this. Because why would you punish the people that did not vote for this person? Because like these people around the world, like they're looking at it and they say this person's bad. But then once they start to realize, oh, this person actually never voted for them, but this person is doing history on their behalf, when these people did not want them there in the first place. NATO is looking at it from a different perspective. They're saying, listen, we cannot punish the people within that country because they did not actually choose this. So we need to find another way, and the other way is installing someone else in power. It makes a lot of sense now. It starts to make more sense with what we talked about with my young male being installed in on January 20th, something like that. I kept seeing young male energies, so we're going to take a look at that in another video. Potentially, some of you guys have suggested that could be like Speaker Mike Johnson or Hakeem Jeffries, something like that. But in some capacity, we talked about NATO being installed in a president sometime down the line. I would not be surprised if NATO does do that, because it does look like a yes card for that. And we asked for this spread here. Is the United States and NATO going to go to war over the next 4 years if Donald Trump or Republicans in position of power in the White House? We have here the first card is going out of troubled water into smoother, calmer water. This is automatically with my no card. No. The incumbent, out of power. This is my incumbency card. Out of power. Inability to get certain things done. No. Okay. Victory or celebration. No. Okay. Indecision or a decision, making the decision, see whether or not you should or shouldn't. It's a no, because they didn't make the decision. The decision was never made. Under here, even though the troubled water here, we have a ton of stories here reversed. No, because it's not a betrayal. We have here the king is reversed here. We have the ton of wands. They're going to try to do it. No, they're actually not going to. They're not going to be able to get a chance to. Or at least get a chance to go to war. Because it just doesn't seem feasible. Under here, the three of cups, we have the upright high priestess card. Destiny will take hold. Destiny will take hold. Something is going to start shifting when this dynamic starts to play out, or possibility of the United States going to war with NATO. Destiny will start to take over the story. The story is now being developed by those in position of power right now. They're playing and creating the story, but destiny will say there's a limit, and once you pass my limit, I will take over. And here we have the Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups is an opportunity. There's no opportunity here. So no, I'm going to say no for possibility of NATO going to war with the United States. We do have here, though, when we ask whether or not NATO is going to install a president in the United States as a way to balance out what's happened, we have here temperance. There is a balancing of something. So NATO is going to pursue a route similar to that. We do have the three of wands here. This has to do with my election night, overseeing the country and the path that the country's going on. We have the devil card, the evil, the corruption of the country, and those in position of power who oversaw the election and was able to take it. We have here justice being served. We talked about this. NATO going to in some way hand down justice in the future. And then we have here in the future. There you go. Here's the future card. So I feel like in some way, NATO is going to do something that is going to bring justice to the United States. I actually want to know what that justice is going to be. But actually, I'm curious, because I have a curious little brain, and I want to know what that justice is, and what did the United States do that it needs to be brought to justice, or something is going to be brought to justice. I assume it has to do with whatever Trump did on election day, but it could be something more severe than that. He could be committing humanitarian crises, he could be hurting people, he could be locking people up, he could be, quote-unquote, exterminating them. There could be a whole bunch of things that Trump could be doing that might be overlooked right now because, well, we don't know anything about it. But who to say that stuff like that can't happen? He could be creating a humanitarian crisis, the likes of what we have in store since 1939. And, yeah. There are countries and leaders who are still doing this to this day, but not on a grander scale as much as Mustache Man in Germany. So Spirit Angel tell me about justice being brought to the United States. NATO is apparently, according to what you guys are saying, NATO is going to bring justice to the United States and to the White House. What does that mean? And you said it's in the future, so you said it's coming soon. So what is the justice that's being brought upon by NATO to the United States? What justice is being brought? What justice is being brought? What justice is being brought to... Okay. Okay, we have here... Oh, okay. Okay, center card. I'm hearing a hand-me-down. So it's a hand-me-down. Because a hand-me-down, like, you know, like, when you go somewhere, like, you decide you don't want something, so you hand it down to somebody else who might use it. Like, just say you have clothes or toys, and you just give it to somebody, it's a hand-me-down. It's without expecting money, you're just giving it away for them for free. I think they are going to do it. There's Lady Justice here. This is the Statue of Liberty in this card here. Liberty. We have the Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Cups here is a very interesting card. It's an interesting card because it talks about achievement, but it also talks about upheaval, the historical significance of the United States. I wonder if some sort of justice was brought upon the United States for doing some sort of criminal act in the past, that is going to be brought back up, but not particularly, it might not be something of the past, but might be something of the future, but it'll be resembling something of the past, almost like a historical repeat. So something that happened in the past regarding the United States was going to be brought back up. Actually, I think I know what it is. So it almost sounds like slavery. You know, back in the 1860s, the United States still had slavery while other countries in Europe were getting rid of slavery, or they didn't have it happen anymore, but they were like a disdain, or the United States was considered embellical or disgusting, or like, you know, just gross. Well, an aspect here, what it is referring to is that the United States are going to be kind of seen in that way. It might not be put on justice in a way of, like, you know, being punished, but rather being having your ideas and who you are, what your reputation is, your value, how people perceive you, is going to be very negative. The United States could actually end up having that separate situation, and because of having a negative continent, people are less likely to go to your country, people are less likely to spend money, people are less likely to trade with you, people are more likely to do, what do you call it, restriction of trade, something like that, like economic restrictions, something like that. So this is like punishment in the United States by other countries. So the United States is going to undergo through some sort of challenges in terms of how others perceive the United States. Right? This is what that card represents. What's this card here, the Sun card, is coming through as clear as day because we're asking, well, the question is now, like, what was the question? My God. It just left my brain. That's so embarrassing. Okay, so now we have the Emperor's card. And the Emperor's card is the Statue of Liberty. And the Statue of Liberty is talking about, well, what is the long-term effect of what's going on in the United States? Okay, to the justice, that's what it was. Thank you, Spirit. To the justice card, the liberty, right? The liberty, justice will be reigning in the end. Justice and liberty will take over. She will regain her rightful place. So, remember how my psychic channeling that I did a while back? I did the psychic channel of Lady Liberty and how she was walking through and how she was going to get through, and she was walking to the yellow road to the White House, but it wasn't going to be an easy path. She would kind of take the long path, like Dorothy. Dorothy kind of walked the long road. When Glinda, all she had to do was say, just turn your little feet, tap it, and you go right back to Kansas, right? But instead, Glinda made her walk the yellow road to the Emerald City, walking to the capital where the wizard was. This is important because, in essence, it's talking in hindsight, there's an easy path, but the United States is not going to take the easy path. This also refers to the woman president. The woman president here is being resembled by Statue of Liberty. There's a reason why the Statue of Liberty had a chain around her ankle. It's not a coincidence. It's because every step the lady walks, she has to take the brick with her, and that slows her process down. She'll get there, right? Because remember, I always said this many times on the channel before, but it's not how fast you get somewhere. It's the commitment that takes you there, right? You can be the hare and you can get there really quick, but you get tired out very quickly because you've been rushing, trying to get there. But then the slow turtle walks and gets to the finish line because he conserved his energy and was able to maintain it at a moderate pace till he got to the destination, right? This is no different. And that's why the Sun card comes in. The Sun card in talked about the liberty, right? The United States facing liberty and what does it mean in the future. The United States will definitely face problems regarding its issues and its ideas and its reputation and how people view the country. But in the end, the women will reign. Liberty will reign with the United States. Justice will be served to the United States. Justice that has not served the United States for quite some time. We do have here, though, we do have the Queen of Wands reversed. This is my Harris card. There's a plausibility and a possibility of someday down the line, Harris will become the next president of the United States. We don't know when because that thing has been changing at a record pace. You guys have all been with me for quite a while. You know, every time you read on this, it said yes, but then it kept changing and changing. How she was going to get there, the story is still in development. And so Harris is no different. That's why she is represented behind here, because she still can choose to fight this, or she can choose to just wait till 2028. Either way, the presidency is going to be hers. And that is what I've got into my second challenge. But we'll see what path she takes, and we need to respect that. But we do have the Emperor's card. Justice will be served to the United States in one way or another. So justice is coming for the United States, and it will rain down hard. We do have here, though, another challenge in the opposite direction is an end of a political career, an end of a patriarchal system. So it almost feels like in some way the justice that's going to reign and the thing that's going to really bring down the patriarchal system within the United States is going to be what takes place here. The justice is what brings and crashes the patriarchy down, which is what ushers in the First Lady Liberty of the United States. And we do have here, in the future, though, a lot of work needs to be done fixing the United States. So the United States is going to go through major changes, things that they're going to look at and say, hey, listen, this is what happened. This is the effect of it. Should we keep it or should we change it? There will be major changes coming to the United States and how it does the things that it does and how can we improve upon it. So I think this is a lovely way to end off. I think, it's time for countries like the United States to finally feel the justice that it needs in order to progress forward. The United States has not really been held liable for a lot of the things that they did over the years, and even decades. We do have the Knight of Pentacles waiting. Just wait. Things will come into play when the time is right. All right, guys. I love you. I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, share this video. Engage. Whatever, comment, like, subscribe, whatever you need to do. Watch this video longer. Just engage with the content. It helps not only our channel, but also helps you as well. Alright guys, I love you. Have a great night, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, peace out.